Good morning, good morning. I am going to do my escape so I can see my screen. Oh, see, it's already right there. Yay. Oh, it's always nice. It's like the best feeling, seeing your stream actually show up. Oh, but I bet I'm gonna get my voice. I don't want my voice. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, I don't want to hear me. That's what I say every single morning. Oh no, it's not working. It's not working here. I don't think I went far enough. So let's try that one more time and troubleshoot. How come I can see it here, but I can't see it there? Do I have to go further away? And maybe all of these buildings, since they're all one, they don't count? Oh, what are these dots on the map? I heard there was a party here last night. So hopefully this is far enough away to clear the system. Oh my gosh. And good morning. Hello. Hello, beautiful. And hello, Doge with all your kittens. Good morning. All right, let's see if that works. Maybe I can just jump right back in. Yay. Okay. That's literally the best thing in the world when when you come back and your screen is live. It's because when it's not, it's like, gosh, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, Lunar Freck, good morning. Hello. And Rowan and Ryumi, welcome you guys. I am bug catching, as you can see. Hopefully, hopefully only figuratively, not literally. And thank you for being here today. I'm excited about the class today, but I have like kind of a hard stop at 10, which means I'm gonna try to do a lot in 1 hour. I'm like, okay, can I do this in 1 hour? But I think I can. It's kind of fun, actually. I'm like, yeah, this people should just speed build all the time. Except it's not good for your mental health. Um, not good at all. I had my build completely destroy itself this weekend, and like revert 2 days of work, which doesn't sound like much, except it was an important 2 days of work. And luckily, cursor could go. Luckily, this is something new actually that I didn't know, that it can go back and find your older versions that you've deployed. So it went back and found my most recent version that I deployed to the Creator Hub, and it grabbed it from there. And if it hadn't done that, I don't know what I would have done, honestly. Maybe a small or large meltdown. And I don't know what I did. Like, that's the scariest part. I just literally went in and tried to do something, and it did not work. So that was like a learning experience for me to like upload your stuff to the Creator Hub. Just deploy it, like token gate it if you're worried about people. Like, okay, I don't want people coming to see my science experiment before it's time, but like put a password code on it, but then start throwing it into your worlds. I'm assuming everybody has a bunch of names, but like that is some that is some job security, or not job security, but like mental. That is protecting yourself from big sad sadness. So in my now I'm like, man, I should do that. Maybe every day you upload the latest version to the Creator Hub, so it's just saved somewhere else. Because I can't even I wasn't even worried. Like I was so upset that I was like, it's fine. It's going to be, I can find this. Like actually Cursor can find this. And Cursor did find it, but it was like 20 minutes of Cursor trying to grab this. And then it was like, in the future, try not to edit anything in like main composite, like in the code, like or like the main. Basically, I must have done something to the main code source file, which is like, and Cursor was so polite of like, don't ever, don't ever effing touch that again, lady. Like, don't. don't touch it. But it was like super polite. So I was like, thank you. Like, I really don't know how, I don't know how I got in there. So, note to self, upload stuff to Creator Hub because otherwise you will lose your scene and lose your soul. I think like yeah, that this is a that was a that's a scene it's not public yet, but it was like 200 megabytes big. So it was enough to make you cry if you couldn't. And of course it was right before I had to show it to people. Um but I got it fixed. So whew, don't don't do don't do that again. Highly don't recommend. All right, it is 9:02. Um I am gonna jump right in because today, like I said, I have a hard stop at 10, like an hour in. So let's see what we can get done in an hour. Can we make something really cool for the Knights of Antrim arena? And what I want to do, I want to make something that what would be the best way? Like not interactive, but it reacts. It is reactive to the player. So I want the player, and in this case, right now, as I'm building, this is the player. Beep, boop, 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 boop. He's running around. She is running around trying to eradicate the boss. But I think the boss isn't enough of a challenge. I think there needs to be other stuff going on. I think good video games, you don't just walk around and experience. You are part of it. And so I want the avatar, the player, to trigger bad stuff. I don't even know if Knights of Antra, I don't even know if I'm going to submit this, to be honest. I'm not doing it to like join or win or anything. I just want to like teach people, stuff. So there we go. We've got to build something around here that can fall. I want something to fall, and you can't have anything fall if you don't have something in the air. So today I am going to move probably at a faster pace than like teaching, but everything that I'm doing, we have learned in these. Oops, I don't want that. Everything I'm gonna go through, we've already learned. So if what did I just do? Oh, okay. Um, I added it and then I didn't save it. So let's see, build it forward. Let's get that one. Um, okay, so everything I'm doing, we have essentially already learned until I get to the point where we're going to make it a little bit more spicy by having some moving animations. So first I need a block. Let's see. I'm thinking, oh, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was doing. I'm thinking it's like an arena. Like, well, that's an obvious one. Like a Greek Roman arena. That's what I'm thinking. So I want to have like blocks all around this, but I want them to be, kind of old looking. Remember correct face attributes so that you don't have that like wild kind of stretchy look because I don't like that. And then if they're chiseled like rock pilings, they'd probably, kind of be rounded like that. They'd be rounded even more, but this is good. Good for now. All right, so let's get that. UV editing. Oh no, I selected everything. My hands, you guys. Remember last week my hands weren't doing they were like they were doing their own thing. I think I'm having the same issue this week. All right, so um I want this texture up here because I want it to look like, I don't know, old Roman, kind of distorted, but I don't want, see that like spot right there. That's cool. I would say the quality on this is not great right now, but I'm going to go fast, not good. Because like normally I don't like the way that that looks pixelated. I think you can see that it's stretched. I'm going to shade it, but today we're just going to go for fast. So down here, I want to make this arena kind of lined with these chunks, these chunky chunks. Okay, but there's nothing that I hate more then repeating patterns like this. And I'm just gonna jump back and make sure, yeah, good, good, good. I don't like repeating patterns. I don't like it when you can tell somebody just copy, paste, and you can do that when you just see like a pattern. And the more you put on these, the more your eye is gonna be like, ah, I'm catching I'm catching a drift that you kind of copied and pasted these. So just subtle, well, subtle differences. Although look, the little dot ended up in the same spot. Okay, so let's look right here. I can change that really fast. Just put there. Good. Oh, I bet there's a line somewhere. Nah, it's good. All right, that copy, paste, rotate, rotato potato. Ooh, these kind of look like potatoes, don't they? I guess it depends on the kind of potatoes you eat. All right, UV. Let's move this guy over here. Okay, good, good, good. And maybe one more. Because now we have like a dark, medium, light. And it's going to be enough that it breaks up the, you're not going to get some kind of like pattern that people can recognize. And there. Boom. Okay. Oh, that's a big, big. Oh, that one's going to really stand out. Let's change that just a tiny bit. It's not 101 Dalmatians. It's KOA. Let's see. All right, that's good. So here we go. I kind of love speed building because then you're like, boom, it's just quick and ugly and you get there fast. And then I think it's also a good representation of like how fast you can go once you get the muscle memory of like what you're building. Because we want an arena fast. Okay, go over there. And even if you're not doing this and you're like, okay, I only have an hour to do it. Even if you're just doing it and you're like, I have all the time in the world, you need to spend that time on other stuff because there's certain parts of Blender that are so tedious, and not just Blender, but like building in the Creator Hub. If you're going to do some kind of like, okay, I want lighting, I want 500 lights. Well, you have to place 500 lights, and that can tend to take a long time. I think I'm up to 120 lights on my other scene, which means then I also have to program each light to turn on. Oh, actually, let's take those two out. So the best thing you can do is just learn how to work quick. Plus, look, how cool is it that we're like 10 minutes in and we have an arena. Okay. That guy. Let's do this. Let's pretend. Okay, it's not a perfect circle. It's probably not going to stand up to like 2,000 years of wear and tear, but it'll be good. Let's get rid of that guy so we don't have a duplicate. And I know there's another one in here. Where are you? Nope. 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 Okay. What did I do? Anyway, doesn't matter. It's not there. All right, so I have an arena. Let's see. I want these guys to be up in the air. So I'm going to copy this guy. Let's make him like a giant, I don't know, Stonehenge thing. There. All right. And then for this one, I'm going to just duplicate him and I'm not going to rotate him. So now if you're on the inside, oh, that one looks actually bad right there because you've got the um, line at the bottom. And especially with this texture, those lines kind of really show up. Even though like right here, you can hardly see it. I think you would notice that. So there we go. Okay, so This one has a dot here and here. That one has a dot at the bottom. So they're different enough that they're not going to scream at us that they're, kind of the same thing. Now I want to have how many of these? Probably 8 or so. And duplicate, rotate. It doesn't look like it's a perfect circle, but that's okay. The ancients would have had it a perfect circle, but not us. We're just hanging in. Oh no, I can't have it move. As long as I don't move it, I can pivot it off of the center point. There we go. And this is like, these guys are ogres in the woods. They don't know how to build a circle. Apparently I don't either, because that's really bad. Let's I think I missed one. Did I miss one, or is it just like that? I'm that bad. Okay, there we go. Now let's grab all these guys. And they don't look that big, but then I look at the inside and realize that's my human. So they're pretty big. If I wanted, I can always go and like make these textures look better in the future, but for now, I'm just gonna leave them like that. All right, up. I just duplicated them. Now we got this Stonehenge looking thing. That's cool. I'm gonna duplicate it one more time and take it over here to my like workspace. And then I'm gonna see if I can make something look like it's an arena up above. I might not even, well, no, I should have enough height. I was like, I might not even have enough height, but I think so on a 10 by 10. I think so. All right. That is not structurally sound, my friends, but you know what? It is in the metaverse, so we're just gonna roll with it. There we go. All right. So I could, this is what I mean by repeating textures and repeating shapes. Humans look for patterns. And if you're down here and you see, actually it's not as obvious from the ground, but I would definitely, like, I would pick up on that. I tend to be a little bit, odd when it comes to patterns though. So I count things constantly and have to, like, I don't know, find patterns and stuff. So that's why probably a lot of my building is like, okay, make that one match up. The rest of it, it's not perfect, but it's okay. I like, this is like, maybe it's a cage to keep the monster in. I don't know. But that's the important part, because I want stuff to fall as you're here. I want stuff to fall from the ceiling. Um, it might be actually super, super big. Maybe I should have, maybe I need to cut down, yeah, this, ah, like make it not so high. I think it's so high that you won't even see it. So let's take that. There we go. And then this guy and that guy and that guy. They need a little help, so I think I'll just make it a little bit bigger because you're losing some of the scale. And then, boop, just duplicate. If you're just joining me, I am going faster than I normally would today and explaining way less just to get us to the point of being able to work on it. So I apologize if people are like, well, this isn't a very basic building class. But we will be down to the basics in just a moment. I got to get to this point. So now we have an arena. We have our spawn point right there. We have this is our person, Janet. Janet has to go out here and kill the boss, or at least sedate it, because Janet is ethical and she does not want to hurt the boss. And as she's running around, I want shit to be falling on her, because that just seems really awesome. So maybe like that brick right there could fall. Maybe like a really good structural one right at the top. And then I don't know, one over here. So here comes here comes the sun. Here comes the hard part. I'm gonna duplicate that. Actually, I'm not. I'm gonna duplicate. It's gonna be so much easier if I use one that has not been rotated. So I think this would probably be my starting piece because I don't want it to just fall. I want it to fall and break apart. And doing this all still in 40 minutes, which we can do. So how can I make this guy fall apart? I am going to take a cube, move him over here. I'm going to basically duplicate this whole sucker and make it already fallen apart. Basically like a time machine. I want to go forward in time. If I want it to fall from the ceiling, first I have to like make what is it going to fall into? Because with animation, so like most of my all of my experience before coming to Decentraland was in stop motion, just fun stop motion animation. And like with animation, you have to know ahead of time what you are going to do. Like literally, where are you going with this? And it can be very tedious. I mean, that's an understatement. Stop motion is like insanity, tedious insanity at the next level. Did I hit correct? Yes. Um, so that was a great way to learn so that then I can be like an absolute mad person. Let's get this texture on there. Oh, I've been clicking the wrong buttons so much lately. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna make this whatever it's gonna happen. It's got to fall apart into let's do 3 pieces. That that doesn't have to be that fancy. All right, there's the first piece. And to make it, well, to make it easier, I could just duplicate it. Yes, I will duplicate it and then I will rotate it. If I wanted it to look really good, I could, just sit here and like chisel the rock apart so that it looks, really good. But I think like the point is that you're fighting a demon, like bad boss, and this is just going to add to the fun. There we go. All right. And somebody might be like, hey, it's kind of ambitious to do this also in an hour. And they'd be right, that's for sure, but we got it. All right. Okay, grab this one. So you can see it's kind of matching up pretty good. Maybe these guys. Maybe we'll do 4 pieces because then I can do a, oops, that. I can do a smaller piece, which will be even better. Yeah. Actually, that guy is he's gonna be kind of a broken oblong piece. So that's perfect. If I just rotate it, because I don't think anybody, like, you're not gonna pick up on the fact that this is a few pieces that don't look very good together. Because once we delete that guy from a distance, yeah, you're good. You're good to go. Okay, so if you see these pieces, see how that's like almost like a zipper. That will show up if you're not careful. It's just where the 2 faces overlap, and your poor computer is like, Janet, which one do you want me to do? I think you want this one. Then it's like, no, I think she wants this one, and it's trying to render both of those at the same time. So it'll just yeah, that's good. I could sit here and be crazy about it, but I won't do that. All right, so I'm going to grab all these. This block is now made of 4 pieces. I'm going to leave this here, and so I'm going to duplicate that so that if I screw it up, I like to leave something over here. It's my sanity clause. So now, what would be the best way to do this? If I have 3 blocks falling down, I think I want to figure out where this guy is going to start from. And so probably like that one right there. I'm going to try to match it up perfectly. Okay, and I can just take this other guy out. Okay. Ah, don't want that one. All right. So pretty much good. If you're out here fighting monsters, you are not going to be looking at that. So now I'm going to duplicate that guy. I do want one lower so that it's I do think there's a chance that you won't see it falling because you're going to be focusing on the boss. But if the boss is coming out from right there, then maybe we should make this one come from right here. So go up, rotate. So the importance with this class today is, not, I bet not everybody's gonna, join the Knights of Antron, the build contest, and then not everybody's even gonna do this. But hopefully you'll understand that there are really cool ways to make your scene interactive. Like you could have flowers that when you walk by, the flowers open. You could have, let's see, lights that like, I don't know, the light turning on. Yeah, that's the same thing. You could do it like this. Um, you could have a bird flap its wings when it walks by. So that's the basic tech behind this is, can you make something interactive, but only it happens when your avatar goes through, because that's the point, is that um, you don't want to make a game or an experience where you're just like, I don't know, walking through it and nothing happens. Like that's just boring in my mind. And that's what I usually do. But like we have this way to make it way more exciting. And I think that that's like definitely something we should try to do. Okay, so here we are. Now I can't even find them. They're so well hidden. Just kidding. I'm gonna take everything. I'm gonna hit A, and you'll notice my keyframes down here are at 250 because I had these cool sparkles. I like to call them sparkles, not sparkles. Sparkles in the spawn point. I'm gonna have to change that. My animation is gonna be way longer. But I'm gonna hit A for everything. Everything has a keyframe at the beginning. If you're not moving stuff around, it does not matter. Actually, maybe that didn't even work. So I'm gonna go back and make sure. Yeah, it didn't. Sometimes it does, on emotes especially. So these guys, I do want it to be A. So I want that to, like, when the avatar steps there, it falls down. Now, the way that I'm going to do this is that I have to, because these are going to be separate blocks. There's 3 blocks. There's 1, 2, 3. They're going to be falling when the avatar gets there, but like totally different times. In order to have them exactly where I want them and fall exactly at the right spot, I'm going to create them in here and then export them separately. But for now, my right here, I can have this just like the keyframe start. So imagine somehow this building is falling down around you. What would the block look like? And I'm going to guess, well, I'm going to guess right now we need more than 250 frames, but it doesn't even matter. I can click anywhere. The point is to get a keyframe on the board, because you can speed it up, slow it down later. This part is not so important. So if this falls down, I don't think anyone's going to look up there, so I'm not even going to worry about what it looks like falling. Although I do think if it's going to fall, it's probably going to start rotating a tiny bit. So I'm going to make it like that. I mean, it might not. It might be like, ooh, that's way too slow. It's gonna, okay, it's gonna be fast, actually. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. It starts to break. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so it could even have, that's pretty good speed. You'll notice it speeds up and then it slows down. Boom. So you want to have your cursor in between these keyframes, hit A, T, linear, because I don't want it to speed up and slow down this motion. Just boom. And then if there's any speeding up, it's going to be me like manually doing it. So now it actually looks too slow. Oops. Oh no, it's falling. And yes, I do all the sound effects myself and the screams of Janet who's fighting this monster. Okay, let's say that by the time it's down here, it kind of had some rotation. I think that actually moves it like a little bit. Let's see. Oh no. Okay. So notice how it got there and then it sped up. So I gotta fix that. Okay. That felt a little too fast. I mean, there we go. I'm gonna see what it looks like without this one. Sometimes you have to just delete the keyframes to get it. Okay, that's too slow. Because I feel like it'd be a little slow at the beginning and then speed up. So what I can do is like hit a little keyframe right here, I, and then because it's going to gain velocity. There we go. And then when it hits, that's going to be like boom. It's probably a little bit more rotation on it right there. And now this is the cool part where our boy is going to like go all over the place. And it's kind of cool because we have this line right here. So I feel like some of the animation, it makes perfect sense that it's going to slide that way. Although this one, it's probably going to be left behind. Like, assuming that there would have been a crack in the rock, that I think that would make sense. Now I'm going to go in here and give each of those guys a keyframe on their own. This bottom, like, he's going to hit hard. Let's see. Let's just move him a little bit, see what that looks like. Oh, and I don't like having something highlighted when I'm animating it, because then your eye, it might see it a little differently. Let's see. So it hits and then it goes down, so I think I don't want that. I want it to stay. Copy. Okay. But it's got to do something. It can't just be like bloop. So what would that, I think if the weight is falling off of that side, it would kind of like naturally pull it up. Let's see. So that is going to rotate, but see how like I have to keep moving it kind of off the center there. And then these guys are going to keep going down, but I think these two are going to move at a little, this guy is going to move at a faster pace. That's going to, there's nothing to support it, so that's going to go off. Might even give it a little movement that way. And then this guy is going to fall down. I think this is where playing Angry Birds as a, you know, as a youngin probably would pay off, because you can be like, where do rocks fall? Like, where do they land when they fall down? Okay. Let's check out the speed. Okay, that looks slow. All right, so I'm gonna just grab all of these guys first of all. This is where I shouldn't be messing with this right now. I should just be like getting it done, but because you could always tweak speed later. And I do want it to kind of like, I mean, it should kind of explode a little bit. So I think that one is gonna come up a tiny bit. Somehow I lost whatever I just did. Oh, that, okay. Okay, so now let's maybe go like it kind of has to like land on its on a like a logical, face, like the flat face. But it doesn't have to be too logical. We don't want to be too logical. Okay, those guys are going down. This guy is gonna go like that, probably down a little bit more. That guy, that guy, that guy. So this one's gonna stop moving first. But I think there probably should be a little bit of movement. So do I want this to tumble the top one to, I kind of want it to keep sliding, which means it probably should have been right there. Okay, how's that look? Boom. And then that's gonna keep sliding off. And then this guy would be like moving, but I think he's gonna come to a rest because it doesn't the weight is gonna stop him. The weight is gonna like stop him from going. All right, let's say that let's say that this guy is the weight is pushing him down, so he might actually have enough um, weight and movement to like make another rotation. Let's just see how it looks. Sometimes I just go through and like, I mean, if you are doing any kind of animating, like stop motion, you're probably going to just go and like see what it looks like first, maybe with like cartoon characters before you go spend 500 frames making it work. And then like, oh, this would be good. Look at, we, nope, forgot it does that. Whoop. And then maybe it rotates back. Maybe it's like wobbling. Okay, I should have just made the point of origin in the middle. That would have been easier. Copy. All right. Let's see what it looks like. There's a block falling. Okay, I mean, kind of janky, but kind of like, yeah, right there. You could tell. This is what I do. This is scrubbing. You just scrub the keyframes. You look for that bad spot that doesn't make sense. Like right there, too fast. So if it's too fast there, pull these guys closer together. Oh, no, sorry. Further away. All right. And then it stops. I don't want it to stop. Those guys have to be close together. And maybe that make it a little, like it's already kind of rotating. There. And then it has that little jiggle at the end, like it's finding its like resting place. But let's move that out a little bit. Oh, that's two. It's gotta be way, way more. Like, okay, not quite. Little bit. Sometimes one keyframe will make all the difference. I don't know. I don't know if it looks good. That might be kind of stupid. Um, and then if I wanted to, I could put like other smaller pieces in here. Like I could just fill it up with little rocks and make those kind of like go all over. But for now, this is what I want. I'm gonna grab these four pieces, all of their keyframes, and honestly, I'm gonna copy them. I'm gonna grab a new version of Blender. It's a whole new thing of Blender. I think I am. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna grab those, get them out of here, and then paste them. There they are. So now I have them in the perfect position for the ceiling, and then I know that they are going to fall perfectly down below. Oh, that's satisfying. That's like ASMR. And look at that. That's not many keyframes at all. But I'm just gonna like do that. I'm just gonna give them a keyframe at the end. I don't even know why. Don't even need to. And then I'm gonna save this as rock one. Because here comes the tricky-ish part. So that's rock one. Hopefully I'm still in my other blender. Rock one. It's got the gap up here, which is good. We need to have that. And then I think I will move these guys out of the way. Yeah. So I'm going to export this now, but I don't want to include those. I kind of want them here in case my other thing messes up. If I move this, if I move much, they're going to like snap back in place. So I don't want to do that. What I want to do right now is just copy it all. I'm not even going to worry about those keyframes. I'm going to save it. I'm going to export this. So when you're exporting it, you're going to include selected objects, actions, active items, merged, export. That is how you get those. Well, actually, that was stupid. I don't have any animations I want on this one. It's the other one that I need to do that. So if you have anything with animations that you want exported, that's the ticket. A lot of like when I first started, I was like, why is it not working? You can also do visible objects. Other people are like, they insist on that, but yeah, this is how I do it. So here we go. Ba, 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 ba. This is the tricky part. So, well, not tricky. Actually, it's not tricky at all. It's very straightforward. Um, but this is the part that you have to like put the arena in and then put the rock in. And literally that's all. So, this is, yeah, it's not that hard. Just the first time you do it might be tricky. Let's get rid of this is last week's portal we put in here. Let's delete that. We're going to import our portal. And if I've named things well, which I probably haven't. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Um, let's go. Let me find this. I don't know why I had a Knights of Antrim folder. Now I'm like, where did I put it? I'm trying to get so much better with there it is. Okay. Trying to get so much better with my naming conventions because I'm like at like what do they call it? Like I'm at information overload in my head. If I don't have them in a good spot that I can get them, I'm not going to find them. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So, models, the portal. Gonna lift that in here. Ooh, it's big. Ah, okay. So, yes. This is there we go. Okay. Because sometimes the boundary box is like way bigger than you want it. All right, so I just did kind of a fatal flaw. Let me undo that, actually. Um, if I start changing the size of the arena, I have to also just in the same, uh, like the same, oh, what is it? The same proportion, I have to change the size of my animation. And that might be kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so there we go. It's luckily the texture of these rocks is like super forgiving, right? Because they're just rocks. So, but if it's something that really is important, that really matters, then you're gonna have to figure out like, okay, exactly what did I do? And I found that out the hard way when I first started it. I was like, why doesn't this fit? Okay, so I'm adding my rock. Hopefully my rock, where did my rock go? Sometimes you can't see him. That's right there. He's camouflaged. So since I just, yeah, since I reduced the building size, I'm gonna reduce him just a little bit. Hope that that works. So you can see these are two different pieces. So this little rock that we made, now I can have that controlled by trigger points that aren't controlling the rest of this. And then remember how I said if we line these up to each other, you're going to get this flicker. I hate that. Um, and so as predicted, there it is. But da 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 da, I don't think much of it is going to show from down below, and I really don't care. Okay, so I have the portal, which to make it like have colliders, I'm going to do physics and pointer, and then none. And let's give the rock some colliders. So if it falls on you, it's going to mess you up, right? That's a good idea. All right. So there we go. And then I want to make this so that like if you walk under it, it probably won't even, you probably won't even notice, honestly. But let's try. Smart items, trigger area, because I want it like if you step under it, it's going to release it from the ceiling. So there's going to be parts of this that you don't want to walk under. And this is where you start realizing, oh, this is a massive build I just made. Like in my head, I think it was on one parcel. Now I'm like, oh, this is freaking huge. So nobody's gonna be down below and see it fall, but they're gonna have to know that like if you start walking around, it's going to fall. So I'm gonna make the trigger area, like I'm gonna make it up here. This is where it's always like, what are you doing? But I'm gonna make it up here right by that guy, and then I'm going to drop it down. So now if you step into this trigger area, this is going to fall on you. And then hopefully it's going to fall. If I did it right, it'll fall perfectly. And I did do it right, but then I changed the size. And so now I'm like how much is that going to impact it? So the next thing I'm going to do, there's a couple ways to do this, but I think the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to remember rock 1 trigger area, and then I'm going to go into cursor, and then I'm going to have cursor help me with all this this tricky part. So it takes a second to open it up. If you've never vibe coded or used cursor, this is the part that it's like going into a dark room with the lights are off and you're scared of the monsters in the room. Okay? Because there might be monsters there, but they might not be. They're actually golden retriever puppies. They're 7 weeks old and they're floofy. Okay? Sorry, I'm talking because I'm waiting for cursor to open. So what you actually I should have opened it to the creator hub. What you want to do is don't be afraid of those monsters in the room, because those monsters, when you turn the light on, they're golden retriever puppies. That's what cursor AI is. That is like literally, that's what it's going to be. And I opened the wrong thing. What I should have done, you guys, because it's the first time, I intentionally did not open it so I could do it with you. Go up here to code and open that up. And then that's going to get you in there. If you, let's see, I have cursor downloaded. So I think if you are new and you haven't, then you might have it like a tiny bit different. But right here, This is your magic spot. This is the moment, you guys, where you walk into that dark room. You don't know if it's full of snakes or dragons or what. This is where you discover that they're golden retriever puppies. This is how hard it is. I want to make a falling block in my scene. Now, remember I said we have to remember those things, what it's called. Make trigger area 1. Um, what is the word? Initiate, start the animation of rock 1. You don't even have to get it perfect. This thing is so forgiving. It will like I'm actually very like particular about what like I like to be super clear. And if it says the name, I'm gonna have the exact name. But then it'll come back to me later and it'll like abbreviate stuff. And it'll be like, hey, did you want that first block to like fall down? And I'm like, hey, I called it rock 1, not first block. So it will start closing those gaps and like connect the dots for you. So now I'm getting more lazy. I'm like, hey, buddy, when somebody touches these next 3 trigger areas I put in, can you have them like do this, this, this? And it's like, yeah, like it'll do it, which that scares me because I don't want to start getting lazy because I think that that's how the bad things happen. So right now, this is kind of the part where like if you're vibe coding, bring a book or do something else because you'll give it the action and you can see it's working right here, but it's just going to take some time. And like for cursor, because if it's really interesting, actually, if you compare somebody else's AI, if they're on Gemini or they're on free, this is the cursor, $20 a month paid. Not the super high power claw, just kind of the basic. And I have not run out of tokens or anything like that. But it will sometimes stop and ask me if I want to like permission to keep going. It wants to make a suggestion. But you can see it's like it's going to town. Like if you are going to use this concept where the player enters a trigger area and triggers something. It could trigger a noise. It could trigger an action like we're doing today. It's triggering an animation. You could do anything like that. And once it's in here, I can go through and be like, hey, can you give block 2 and block 3 the same properties? Block 2 controlled by trigger area 2. Block 3 controlled by trigger area 3. So this is like the hard part. Once you do it once, it's got that all in there. And it's not hard. It's just like, it's going to take like 2 minutes. You can do all of this with like triggers in the Creator Hub, but what I've noticed that I'm doing more and more is like giving one trigger area so many multiple multiple things that I can tweak using cursor that I cannot as easily if I'm in like the Creator Hub. Like sometimes an animation will animate and then it'll go right back to where it was. Like for this one, I want it to only animate once. And I want it, yeah, like there's this one's pretty simple. It's just like the rock falls, I want it to stop. But I also probably want to put a sound effect to this too. And so that's why I don't know. I guess at this point, I'm more comfortable with cursor doing this than the regular, the Creator Hub. So this is just thinking. You could see, and actually, like when I compared AIs to a good friend, he was like, "This takes forever," and he couldn't believe how long cursor takes. So he did the same action, but then he had like a bunch of error messages at the end. So go. So like this one rarely, like the only, I think I've gotten one error ever. So it doesn't like give you errors that you have to fix. It's fixing them as it goes. So, all right, here's the end. So it's going to tell me, and I suggest when you're doing this, read it all, because I think the more that we're reading this and understanding what it just did, we'll understand how to do it ourselves and how to fix it and how to stop it if it happens again. Okay, so the following block trigger is wired up to your scene composite. What was configured? Rock 1, fall action, trigger area. When the player enters, it does the fall action. So how it works. Walk into the trigger zone, Rock 1 plays its fall animation, trigger area uses asset pack system, which automatically adds a box collider size to the entity's transform. All right, so the names to test. There we go. So, hello. Oh my gosh, there's lots of friends around me. Hello, everyone. Yes, Rustan, and yes, thank you. The flicker happens, I know. And we did that earlier, but I said I don't want I don't want to sit there and mess with it today. That's not what this class today is about. So, if you guys have questions, I'm going to run through here and just see if anybody had questions. Agent Mobile. Oh, reaction messages on mobile. I don't know. Okay. All right, so there we go. I have to jump out of this to go test it. So I will be back. Go in there. Preview. All right, so moment of truth. It is nice that they allow you to like make changes in real time on the preview. That is such a lifesaver. And I would also want to add sound to this. And so like there's free libraries, where you can get sound effects. There's also like paid. Oh, look at this thing. I might have made it so big I can't even get in. Let's see. We did not think about that. All right, I didn't think about that. Hold up. There we go. More than one way to skin a cat. Okay, so there we go. It's already come down. And I did not trigger it, did I? So, shoot. Okay, I did trigger it. Okay, did you guys see that? Let's do it again. I don't know. So this is where you have to like go through. That was scary. It's so interesting. Okay. So like it rarely works the first time. So let's go through there and say like I say exactly what I saw. When I came into the scene, the animation was on the last frame. The rocks were on the ground. Can you make it so that it does not animate until I touch the trigger area? If this was a big scene, I wouldn't say touch the trigger area because that's absolutely vague. I would say touch trigger area number 34. Like I think on the scene I'm working on now, I'm on like 44 trigger areas. So I have to be very specific that like this trigger area is what I want this to do here. So I got like 44 trigger areas, 120 lights, a hundred and 120 impulse areas. So like I am lost. I am freaking lost in that scene. And so if I don't have a really strong like way of remembering and like these naming animations, I've got trigger areas in this. It's not this scene that I'm working on, but like one that's out in the great blue unknown. I'll find trigger. I'll move something and find a trigger area, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not touching it. I'm not getting rid of it because I don't know what it does. All right, so let's see. Now I'm here again. Oh, and also I need to go into the Creator Hub and I need to lower all of this because it's spawning a little too high. Right there. And then if I go here, there'll be a moment. Okay. It's still here. AI, it's still here. If I run through the trigger area, what happens? Also, sometimes like your trigger area might be, it might be like different than you think. So, okay. The rock was loading, and this is what it told me. The rock was loading at the end of its animation because the animator was set to hold the last frame. And that usually has happened with animations. Like, they never work the first time. So just get ready to like start figuring this out. Animator start state rock now was frame 0 up in the air instead of the last frame. Reset on spawn. When the seed reloads, rock 1 runs an action. Fall on trigger only. GLB default pose may be the fallen state. Tell me, and we can adjust the model. The other thing is sometimes, like, if you just reload the scene, it'll work, but no, I don't think so. It's still on the ground when I spawn in on the last keyframe. So I have to go. This is a hard stop today, sadly. I'm gonna try this prompt. I'll try reloading, and then if it's not it's there. So sometimes the animations will like they'll work really easy, and then sometimes they don't. And I feel like the more I tell it what to do, the less it does. I've got one right now that I'm working on, and it's like a platform that should spawn in and you can ride on it, and it takes you somewhere and then it stops. But what it's doing is stopping on its last keyframe and then not resetting. And so I was like, I need it to reset. And then sometimes it'll be like, it will reset the first time, but it won't reset like if you do the action more than once. So yeah, that one I'm finally like, you know what? F it. I'm gonna figure that one out later because I just like it. The more I try to do it, the more it's like messing up, and it seems so simple. Um, there, it seems so simple, but sometimes it's not. And then like others, they're like great. The other, well, this one, the other thing is if you can make the animation loop, like a flower opening is perfect. Like if you walk by and the flower opens for you, and then you have like a really long keyframe where the flower just stays open permanently. But right at the end, just have it fold back to that closing, to like the end frame. That I found is a lifesaver. Like if you can put it back to where it was. However, you know, rocks falling from the ceiling, it makes 0 sense for them to just suddenly like go back into the sky. All right, so I'm just gonna check. That's our trigger area. That looks good. So sometimes trigger areas too, they can, you know, they can be weird. So yes, as I'm waiting for this to finish up, I hope today has been helpful. Make your scenes come to life. No more static scenes that you just walk through. Make it living, you know, or like deadly, like this one. I mean, even deadly, I guess that's like making it living, right? Because it's stuff is going to happen. I think that's so much better. And also like danger shouldn't just come from the boss. It should come from everywhere. Okay. What it does now, let's see, falls out. Okay, I'm not going to read it, like I said. Falls only on trigger. Let me try reloading this. Sometimes I've done something really stupid, like I've been working in Cursor. I had the preview open, and then like I deployed it to my world so I could go see it. And then I go back to Cursor and I'm trying to fix stuff, but then without thinking about it, I was in my world. Yeah, it's still on the bottom. Oh, that's a bummer. I was hoping it would work by now. So anyway, I was like making edits and nothing was changing, and Cursor was like, wow, I really don't know what's happening. It seems like it's working on my end. And then I realized I was testing it in world, not in the preview. So when I went, everything was great. But yeah, that one doesn't. So let's see what it says. Come on, Cursor. Rebuilt, restart or refresh. Waits for rocks to fall. Uses a GLB loading state with a short fallback timeout. A lot of times, if you're going to do animations, There's like it will mess with things in like milliseconds. And that's why you have to like be very concise about what you're explaining to it, because it yeah, just like whether you're starting on frame 0, or look at this one, snaps to frame 0 for the first 15 frames after load. It briefly starts the animation and immediately pauses it. That forces the engine to show the first keyframe rock up instead of the last one on the ground. Um, the GLB itself may have its rest pose baked as the fall in position. Frame 0 might also be on the ground. Let's go check because, you know, maybe. What was frame 0? Nope, frame 0 up in the air, buddy. So I will have to mess with this a little bit more, but you get the idea that if you want to have something like this in your scene, all you have to do is, it's fun to say all you have to do when it's not working. But you have your piece. Oh, where's my spawn point? Okay, let me get up here so I can see it better, and then I'm going to wrap this up. But you have your piece, the animated piece, right? Because I don't want to include this in all of this building, because then I'm going to be telling it like, have Portal do this, because in this I wanted to have like 3 falling rocks, and then I also want to have the spawn area, so I want to have like a bunch of moving stuff, and everybody's going to find their own way to do it. Nobody's got the perfect way. Everybody's just, you got to find the way that works for you. And what works for me is to have a base area like Portal. And maybe I would call that Portal base. But then that's like this, literally the skeleton of my scene, and it kind of looks like a skeleton. If I want to have like little, man, if I want to have dust come through, if I want to have these sparkles, everything is going to get added to this. And then I'm going to try not to move this, because if I start moving it around every time I log in, that's just a pain in the butt. So like your base part of your scene, don't mess with that. Leave that there. And then start adding on it. Like if this is the skeleton, then these little parts are literally like the muscles that are moving. Like if you're going to have like add animations, stuff like that, you're going to have muscles. And then at the end, you get to make it all pretty, right? If this is like a fun place, you might have sparkles. You might add like, oh, here, let's do this. Let's do the lighting, like their point light. Okay, that would be your skin. So don't do that until the end. Start with the skeleton, work your way up to the muscles, and then end with the highlighters, the toners, the blemish remover, whatever you need to do. So make your stuff move. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I do have to jump out today. I will make sure this works, and then yeah, figure out what Cursor wants me to do to make this happen. But stick with it. Don't give up, even if you don't get it on the first time. And make some cool stuff. So thank you everybody for being here. And I probably won't jump back into Decentraland. So if you have questions, just DM me. And thank you everybody for being here, and hope you have a good day. Bye bye.